everybody. So I wanted to share this new product with you. This is Minky. Now I know that Minky is not new, but this particular Minky from Shannon Fabrics is. It is thin enough so that you can actually piece a quilt top with it. Not just put it on the bottom, but actually piece a top with it. So what I'm going to do with this Minky is I'm going to do this Claudette pattern from Villa Rosa Patterns and show you just how easy it is to put a quilt top together, and you're going to be amazed. Okay, so I just made my first cuts and I wanted to show you how much of the bits and pieces of fluff that are left over after I did my cuts, because we all know that Mickey just makes a mess, right? So I cut this, that, that. Yep, you're seeing it, folks. There's no Minky dust floating around. So yeah, this is awesome. Okay, so we're doing the Claudette pattern from Villa Rosa. So I got out my design wall, and just a word of note, if you have a white design wall, do not let your black cat rub up against it, because it took forever to get that clean. Just a side note. Okay, so I've started putting up my pieces according to the pattern. I did run out of pins, so I couldn't put the extra pieces on, and it's not wide enough to get all of the columns on there, but you get the idea. So I've got everything set up that way. I think I like that, and I'm going to go ahead and start sewing it. So that comes next. Be right back. Okay, so as you can see, there's some fuzzies showing up everywhere. I'm finding that the more I work with the pieces, the more they let go of some of their fuzzies. So yes, you will end up with the fuzzies. It's just one of the things Minky is about. Second thing I wanted to show you is that when you're working with Minky, you have to worry about, maybe worry is not the right word, but you have to pay attention to the way the pile goes. So if you're not familiar with a pile, anything that has like a fur texture has a pile in that there's one way that the fabric likes to go and one way that it doesn't. So if you look here, this is nice and smooth. If I push it this way, it's nice and smooth. But as you can see, if I do it this way, it changes color because the pile is going, I'm going against the pile. Same thing with this one. So that's against the pile. So when I'm stitching these together, I don't want the piles to go against each other. So I don't want one pile going this way and one pile going this way. I want the piles to all go, oops, this way, top down. Okay, so just make sure when you're doing your stitching that you make sure your piles are all going the same direction and try to get them top down, because that's what feels the nicest when you're cuddling underneath it. So there's your lesson in piles. I'm going to continue stitching. All right, so now I have all of my rows put together and I've got the border put on. Just wanted to show you a couple of things. So the Minky naturally just kind of wants to curl, so you don't even have to worry about trying to press it. Once you've sewn it, it's going to naturally open up like this, so you don't have to do anything at all. The last thing that I did was I did what many people call a victory lap around the entire outside edge of the quilt. I stitched just a straight stitch, about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge. That does two things for me. So number one, it's going to stop the edges from stretching. So when I go to quilt it, I don't have to worry about it being stretched out of shape. And also, when I've got seams here on the edge, it seals those, so I don't have to worry about those pulling apart when it gets handled. Many of you may know that when you have finished your quilt and you've got edges like this there, as soon as you start handling it, those first couple of stitches right at the edge pull apart. You don't want that. So if you do this victory lap around the edge, then you don't have to worry about that happening. And if you take your quilt to be long-armed, your long armer will love you. So I will get this put back up on the board here in just a minute so you can see the finished product. But there we have a pieced top made with the new Quilting Minky. So come on into the shop and check it out. It's awfully soft. Now, the last thing to do is clean up the fuzzies. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some useful information out of it. Thanks.